everyone. In this video of agile management and practices, we are going to see the Scrum. Scrum is one of the method of agile software development. Then difference between Scrum and extreme programming methods. What is dynamic system development method is one of the software development method of agile. So Scrum is one of the agile software development process or method. So this Scrum is not an any acronym. So this particular name is comes from the sports of rugby, where everyone in the team pack acts together to move the ball down to the field. So the analogy of this development of the team working together to for the successful development of quality product or quality software is the main focus of Scrum team. So the Scrum focuses on entire organization for its implementations to be make a successful software products. So the Scrum principles are followed. The Scrum principle, first important principle is nothing but quality work. So for this, empowering everyone in a team to involve and feel good about their job and work for betterment of the product development activities. Assume simplicities. So in this way, they will Scrum is a way to detect and cause removal of anything that gets way of development. So making a simple design and simple implementation and avoid the unwanted things from the development activity are taken care in. Assume simplicity. Embrace the change is nothing but whatever changes given by the customers, they can be rapidly make consider and rapidly make the changes accordingly in the plan. That is embrace changing is third important principles. Fourth important principle is incremental change. Whatever changes are there, gradually and slowly they are make into the product delivery, and in every iteration of 30 days of span, they will convert that particular change in a form of functionalities into the product and then deliver to the customers in the incremental change. Sprints in Scrum. So sprint is nothing but a short or time box period when a Scrum team works with a complete set of amount of work. So sprint is a backlog. Sprint is nothing but a set of requirement. That particular set of requirements are considered in one particular sprint, that is converted into the releasable product, shippable product, and that particular shippable product will be delivered to the customer. So daily Scrum meetings are conducted for that particular sprint about the status of work done in the sprint. So this is called as product backlog. This is a sprint, and then sprint can be converted into the functionalities or coding form, and then that will be delivered to the customers. So with this Scrum, the product can be built in series of iterations called as sprints. So one particular sprint is nothing but here one particular iteration of software development activities, and this particular activity is time boxed and fixed one. So the goal of this meeting is to surface any blockers and challenges they are facing to convert that into the product form of the prints is taken care. So the Scrum methodology is following some Scrum processes. So here the planning is done as in a form of pre-game. After making a plan, the phase 2 is game is nothing but a sprint meetings are conducted. Daily sprint meeting are conducted for that particular set of requirements, and finally closure to post game meet to complete that particular in a product form. This Scrum methodology, there is planning, game, planning, sprint, and closure. So planning is nothing but they are taking the sprints, those who are completed in a sprint meeting, and then they will close it that particular sprint to go for next sprint A. And that particular sprint is nothing but a set of requirements. So in the first case, vision and planning is done for set of requirement. Architecture is developed for that particular sprint. Based on that, they will prioritize the set of sprints, the most important functionalities which is considered in a form of sprint, and then daily Scrum meetings are taken for that particular sprint, and that particular sprint is developed, and sprint review is taken after complete development of that sprint. Then that particular code is tested and then deployed to the end users or customers. This is a scrum methodology is followed in this way. So the difference between scrum and extreme programming: in scrum, changes in a sprints are not allowed for it, but in case of extreme programming, the changes can be allowed at any time. Based on that, they will exchange the features in the development process. Here, once the task of certain sprints are set, prioritization of that particular sprints are done, then the sequence in which they will develop in a backlog items, and in next iteration they will take the next sprints. But in case of here, tasks are taken in a strictly priority of orders. Based on that priority of order it is, and here the scrum master is responsible whole and soul for that particular sprint, which is considered for making into the code, including the code which is written for that particular sprint. Here developers are modifying and refactoring few of the part of code that need to be arises into it. Here the scrum validation of software is completed at the end of each sprints, or sprint review is taken for it. Here software need to be validated at all time, to the extent that test states are written prior to the actual software implementation. So the next, dynamic system development methods. This particular dynamic system development method will follow iterative and incremental approach for large software development based on a rapid application model. So this method provides the four phases of framework consisting of feasibility and business study, that is set of requirements for based on feasibility study of the customer's requirement, they will do the business study of it. Then functional modeling, prototype is developed and iterations are identified, design and build the iterations on into it, then implementation of it, elements or problems of it is ongoing, over budget is avoided, missing deadlines is avoided, and users is not involved into this development activities in DSDM. The DSDM, in the pre-project, the feasibility study whether that particular requirements will be fulfilled, or whether it is of possible to convert into the product or not, they are done in a feasibility part. For the business analyst who is taking care of this feasibility study part, then based on that, foundation is prepared for development things, or proper planning is done. Then functional modeling, based on that they will make a functional modeling for that set of requirement of the customers. Then design and build the iterations are followed, and then they will go for different type of designs and build that in a form of iterations, and increments are developed and they are deployed for post projects. If one of the requirements are remaining, they will go for again planning phase, then functional modeling is done, then designing and build that particular iterations, and finally incremental deployment is done in a post project analysis. Few principles are followed in this DSTM. Active user involvement: for this, team must be empowered to make their own decisions for software development things. Frequent release are also taken care with maximum good quality product is in that. Primary criteria of deliverables is meeting business needs. What our customers need, business needs are taken care with the help of prioritization of it. Iterative development is also essential to reach the correct solutions of it. Every iteration they are going to retrospect checking of it. Any changes during development can be reversed into it is possible with that. Most high level requirements should be unchangeable into this development activity into the principles. Eighth principle focuses on testing that should occur throughout the life cycle of the project. Whenever new increments are developed, it should be tested. All stakeholders must work, cooperate, and communicate with each others. Thank you for watching this video.